Hi everyone, Grant K here for the Flame Premium Learning channel. In this video, we're going to look at an example of slipping media which has an animated Timewarp timeline effects. Now, slipping media with timeline effects is nothing new in Flame Premium. However, I'm going to show you a scenario that could cause an issue and how to resolve it. If you would like to follow along, please click the link in the YouTube description to download the media. Alternatively, if you're watching the podcast version of this video, then type the link displayed in your internet browser. So I have imported the media, and in the timeline view, I have trimmed the head and tail frames to 24 frame handles. Now, when it comes to slipping media, you have a few options to deal with any timeline effects on the segment. For example, call up the effects ribbon and add a 2D transform to this segment. With Auto Key enabled, scale the image and reposition it on the first frame. Press Ctrl close square bracket to go to the last frame of the segment. Reposition the image to the other side of the frame. So scrubbing the time bar, we have a basic keyframed animation. Press Alt-S to switch to slip mode. When the keyframe move mode is set to shift and you slip the media, notice how the media slips, but so does the keyframe animation. However, if you undo that and change the keyframe move mode to prop or pin, you can slip the media, but the keyframes stay in place. This is really handy if you have created a timed animation and you want to adjust the footage but not the animation. This is how slipping works with all timeline effects with the exception of time warping. Remove any timeline effects off the segment and slip the handles to 24 frames again. Call up the effects ribbon and apply a Timewarp timeline effects to the segment. Now, if this is a constant time warp, slipping the media would really not have any impact on the timings or speed of the segment. The speed will still remain constant. However, ensure Auto Key is on and let's create an animated time warp. You are going to use timing to block out specific frames, but you'll still have the same issue if you used speed. Press Ctrl-Alt-T to toggle between timecode and frames display. On the first frame, set the timing to 25. Now move to frame 20 and set the timing to 80. We want to create a looping backward and forward motion. So go to frame 40 and set the timing back down to 25. Now moving to frame 60, set the timing forward to 80. And finally, go to frame 80 and set the timing to 25. Scrubbing the time bar, the character goes forwards and backwards on certain frames. In fact, this could be any time warp animation you want, but I thought this scenario would make things obvious. Now we want to slip the media of the segment, but we want the keyframes to remain in place at frames 20, 40, 60 and 80. So with slip enabled and the keyframe move mode set to reposition proportionately, you should be able to do this. However, as you slip the footage, the keyframes remain locked to their specific frames and the timings will be out. This happens regardless of the keyframe move mode. In some instances, this might be exactly what you want. However, in other cases, the time warp timings are correct, but you want to slip the source media. As a timeline effects, it is impossible to dissociate time warp keyframes from the source media. But this is not the case in batch effects. Select the segment and call up the effects ribbon. Choose to convert the selection as a flow graph. Click Create Batch Effects. So now we have a separate source clip and a separate time warp node that includes the keyframes. To perform the slip, go to any keyframe as a point of reference. Now switch to the timing view and press Ctrl-Alt-2 to view the overall batch effects result. Select the segment and slip the media by 20 frames. So if you scrub the time bar, the time warp timings still happen at 20, 40, 60, and 80. However, the source frames at each frame have been slipped by 20 frames. As an alternative to the timing view, you could go to the batch node bin and use the mux node instead. This would just go before the time warp node, and you can find the offset slider in the mux controls. Using this technique with either the timing or mux tools, you have complete control over the timing of the footage, as well as the timing of the speed change. You may not use this often, but it's a useful technique to know. Comments, feedback, and suggestions are always welcome and appreciated. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the Flame Premium Learning channel for future videos.